Satya Nadella last week talked about on that interview, I think he did with Dwarakesh or somebody. He's like, I'm not really interested in the AGI debate. Tell me when AI moves the economy by 10%. And I think both you and I think that's coming, where suddenly the economic outputs become things we don't understand. As you said, when you've got AI companies building AI businesses, interlinking with each other, probably using crypto rails to make payments to each other in ways that we don't understand for outcomes we can't even predict. And what the fuck does that mean?
Well, I don't know. It's we've never seen, like, we have seen this before, right? We've seen that capitalist economies outperformed non-capitalist economies from a formation perspective, right?
Yeah.
You've seen what happens when multinationals come in and compete against locals. It's exactly the same thing here, right? Except for Metcalfe's law, this network effect thing, bureaucracies no longer exist. These, by definition, will be the most efficient companies ever. Well, I think Satya partially said that because of the AGI clause in the OpenAI deal, in that when AGIs met, they take back all the IP. So it's like, no, there'll never be AGI. I always want access to that.
Oh, I see.
But at the same time, it is a real measure. But it doesn't mean that everyone will be taken along. Like, capital versus labor, there's always been this interlinkage. And this is why the Fed works the way it does as well, and other things. That's going to be broken.
Yeah, because where we're going, there's no labor.
You don't need it. Again, like, you see the unitary robots now that know kung fu and can dance and other things. Look at the figure robots with the tactile stuff. Do you see the clone robotics ones that look like the Westworld, like with the physical twitching fingers? Like, those robots cost like 20 grand a year, maybe. And again, when you amortize it, it's like 50 cents to $1 an hour. And they can do pretty much anything a human can do and not make mistakes. And you're like, yeah, I'd replace most of my laborers on that if I was a company. And then you look at digital. And digital, I think, is the most interesting here because the final part that we haven't had, but we'll have this year is this. I won't know that you're an AI. And the way that AIs will enter our workforce is remote work. And they will be completely indistinguishable. You can have that call with the AI. And again, the example is go and use NotebookLM at Google. It's free. Upload 100 PDFs or the most complex stuff, and then call in and talk to the AI live. And you're like, oh yeah, that's coming. Like, all of a sudden, these are experts that you can Slack with.
Yeah, so I've got, on the Real Vision platform, I've built a Raoul bot in my voice, which is trained on all of my free content. And that's my Twitter feed. That is every free video I've put out. And I gave it 100 books that matter to me, wine books to finance books. And you can talk to me in real time about all of the topics that are me.
And by the end of this year, next year, you'll be able to arrange a Zoom call with it.
Yeah, exactly right. Because we've already got a video version of me out. They're all going to merge into one thing, which is you get to have a one-on-one with me.
Completely real time. And then it'll know about each one of your listeners as well. Each person subscribing. It will know their individual stuff. It will have memory. And so again, all of a sudden, you're reproducible.
Yes.
And that's scary and crazy. And under IP law and other things like that, there'll be jurisdictions that can copy you, which is even scarier. So what does that mean? It means that the AIs will have an advantage over humans from a capital allocation, organization perspective when they're in control at the top. Humans plus that AI will have it as well. And this link to labor is broken. And the example I give is the Fed's mandate is two things, right? Unemployment and price stability. This could be massively deflationary for society.
Yeah.
And usually what happens is you lower rates and then people go and hire more people. Oh, no, they'll just go and hire more GPUs, They'll give more money to Azure and whoever else. And then what happens? Oh dear, the actual Fed mandate is balked. That's kind of scary.
Because even if we try and focus on GDP growth, we don't know who it accrues to.
Well, it'll accrue to capital, right?
Yeah.
And so the rich will become even richer.
So then what are we supposed to be targeting as a government? I don't think anybody's thinking this stuff through yet.
Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. Look, if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and check out the video here on the right-hand side. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one as well. And if you're ready for more, go to realvision.com/join. I'll see you there.